This is Laura Duncan from CSMS. Today we will do a quick review over functional relationships. Remember, in the Cartesian coordinate plane, we have 4 quadrants, starting with quadrant 1 and going counterclockwise, 2, 3, and 4. Look at the y-axis first. The y is also known as the output, the range, and the dependent variable. Now look at the x. The x is associated with domain, input, and independent. And remember your terms from science like mix to help you remember that the x is the manipulated and independent variable, and dry, the y is the dependent and the responding variable. Now let's look at mapping. In mapping, remember you have the x and the y values. But as you map, remember no numbers are repeated and you have a single line going from the x value to the y value. Please copy the mapping and then we'll go on to a mnemonic device. This table represents the mnemonic device. Dr. XY left his ID in the office, to remind us that the domain is associated with the x value and range is associated with the y value. The x is known as independent while the y is dependent. The x is the input while the y is the output. Now let's look at it as an ordered pair. As an ordered pair, remember that we have parentheses between each variable and a comma in between. Please pause the video here and fill in the rest of the ordered pairs. Now let's switch our attention to function notation. In function notation, we have the f. And remember, it could be g, it could be h. But f of x is equal to the y. So the x, or input, is going inside the parentheses. The f of the domain is equal to the range. The f of the input is equal to the output. The f of the independent is equal to the dependent. Now here's one of the most important things on this page. For a relation to be considered a function, the x values cannot repeat. So keep that in mind. Now turn to the second page. In this equation, the N represents the number of DVDs ordered and C represents the total cost. Label the independent and dependent variable and describe the relationship in a complete sentence. So C is the dependent variable. The N is the independent variable. So now we'll write a dependency statement. The total cost depends on the number of DVDs ordered. Now let's turn our attention to using stat to generate equations. Remember that you can use the stat function and you'll place the x values in L1 and the y values in L2. If we're looking for an equation to generate this table of values, you'll put it into your stat function. In this case, you can see that it has a rate of change of 2 each time as you find the change in x over change in y. After you use the stat function, you can find out that the equation of this line is y equals 2x plus 5. Remembering that the 2 is the slope and the 5 is the y-intercept, or the b, which is located right here. Now if you wanted to find a linear function and you're given 2 points, you can use the stat function for that as well. So I like to stack the points so that the x values are stacked. You put it into stat function. and you find that the linear equation is y equals 3x plus 10. One of the most challenging things for students is sometimes making words into equations. So let's look at this. Remember that we'd like you to take it step by step, writing it out in math. So we have 4, less implies subtraction. Than is a switch word. So we're going to switch around the 4 and whatever comes after it. What comes after it is the product of 3 and a number. Well, what's the number? We don't know, but product implies multiplication. Since we don't know what the number is, that's where our variable will be. Then the next phrase is equal to. The number, well, it's the same number, decreased by implies subtraction, 14. So now let's put that all together. Remember, we're switching the 4 and the 3 in. So the final equation will be 3n minus 4 is equal to n minus 14. Try the next two on your own. So let's reread this. 2 times the sum of a number and 4 is equal to negative 3 times the sum of the number and 4. So in this equation that I've written, I'm missing something huge. Since we have the word sum, and it's the sum of a number of 4, we have to add those before we can multiply by 2, but they're not like terms. So to take care of that problem, we must have parentheses around the sum so that we can be sure that those numbers are added together first. But since they're not like terms, then to complete the problem, you would use the distributive property to distribute these numbers. And that takes care of the problem of not being able to add those terms together since they're not alike. Look at number 3. We have 15 more than. Than is a switch word. So that means we're going to have 15 plus the next term, which is 5 times a number. Is the same as, that's your equal sign, twice the number plus 6. Now let's review graphing inequalities. Let's go over what these inequality statements say. This one is less than or equal to. This one is greater than or equal to, less than, or greater than. Also recall, you know a lot more ways to describe these, such as no more than, no less than, things like that. Now let's take them step by step. Less than or equal to would have a solid line that's shaded below, while greater than or equal to would have a solid line because of the or equal to, and it would be shaded above. When we have less than, the number would not be included in the function, and therefore it would be a dotted line and it would be shaded below. Lastly, we have y is greater than, and it would also be a dotted line. However, it would be shaded above. This concludes your first review